Bienvenidos al podcast de Scooby-Doo, la máquina de bocadillos. Soy su anfitriona Melody y ella es Courtney. Hoy veremos Scooby-Doo, ella es Courtney. Hoy veremos Scooby-Doo y la fantasma de Gourmet.
I need you all to know that I didn't know that was going to happen. So I'm sitting here just as stunned as you. She was just reading that off her phone because this bitch does not speak Spanish. I'm sure you noticed.
I kinda.
You tried, and you get about...
I'm getting really good at reading Spanish while I'm playing Pokemon on the screen because I set this language to Spanish.
I have to send this to Xochitl or Jocelyn or somebody at some point. Angie, people who speak Spanish, because I need them to roast you.
No, be nice to me.
No.
I made a good attempt.
You tried.
I tried. It's in my blood. I got the natural boost.
I don't know about that.
All right, so today we're going to be watching Scooby-Doo and the Gourmet Ghost featuring Bobby Flay.
I am just here as a hater, first and foremost, because fuck Bobby Flay.
I don't know Bobby Flay, so I have no real stakes in this beef, but it's very funny, her hatred for Bobby Flay. It's very intense, and yeah, so I do think it's really funny when Scooby crosses over with like any celebrity or whatever. It's kind of like when the Muppets do it. It just feels right. It just feels like they should be someone that just goes to see whoever, and you can mash him up. It's not like, oh, Game of Thrones, starring Gordon Ramsay. Oh my god, Arya, this is Frozen! I haven't seen Game of Thrones. Anyways, that's just my context. It came out 2018, so I'm interested to see some old pre-pandemic culture. Think about that, Courtney. Think about how vastly the culture has shifted. All right, so without further ado, you ready?
Yes.
All right, let's do this shit.
1, 2, 3, 4. Reese's Puffs. Eat 'em up, beat 'em up, beat 'em up, beat 'em up. Reese's Puffs. Eat 'em up, beat 'em up, beat 'em up, beat 'em
Go
up.
through your notes because we watched for too long and now I don't remember anything.
So guys, here at the Munchie Machine, we've actually evolved. I have a new microphone, as you may have heard. It probably sounds better than my headphones, which I think I was using previously. And I've also taken notes. We're evolving so much. We're being a real podcast.
She took notes. I did not take notes.
All right, so let's
I hope
start.
Her notes are good. Oh, my first note is Giada de Laurentiis is in this. And once again, I love Giada, but they're harlots, the two of them. And I know that they keep saying that they were just friends, but I don't believe that for one hot goddamn second. They have had sex.
They have known each other carnally.
They biblically know each other. Yeah.
This is not an official legal thing. Don't sue us. Don't sue us, Giada Laurentiis.
Unless you want a cat. I'll give you the bean.
The bean.
I don't have anything else.
Yeah. All right. So we start at the beginning with back in the 17.
Place to start. Continue.
In the 1700s in early America, Chef Flay is like the best guy in town. He's like, oh yeah, Chef Flay, you're good, great cooking. Woohoo, we love you over here. We're in Boston, yeah. And then he goes to his home and he's gonna cook some stuff, but then the gourmet ghost gets him, and he's like, oh, beware the red ghost, and
then he disappears forever.
He disappears.
I don't know how that works. Because Fred is the direct descendant of this man. Or not Fred. Bobby Flay is the direct descendant of this man. But this man was cooking for himself alone in a home, and there was no wife, and he was never seen again.
It's a big inn. And
so where the fuck did Bobby Flay's lineage come from?
I don't know. Who fucked the Flay? All right, so let's see. So now we get a snazzy intro sequence where the town develops around the house, and it shows like the house staying, being built around while the town grows and everything. Go to the present, and also we are in the Kate Micucci era of Scooby-Doo.
Yes.
So Kate Micucci was on Steven Universe, and she's also a musician who does part
of a delight.
Yeah, part of a funny little musical duo, and
Garfunkel and Oates.
Garfunkel and Oates, yes, and so I like her, and I believe she got a little role on Steven Universe, and from there, I think, ever since, she's kind of been Velma in Velma in Steven Universe.
Oh,
in Scooby-Doo.
Not to be who I am fundamentally as a human, but the way I would watch that crossover.
Yeah. It would be fun. Scooby's like, whoa, you've got a talking dog, I've got a pink lion. Whoa, that means nothing to you, because you haven't seen Steven Universe, but...
Yes, I have.
Oh, you have?
A lot of it, yeah.
Who was it? I must have mixed you up with someone else then. Because I didn't... For some reason, I thought you'd never seen Steven Universe.
No, we used to watch it all the time.
Oh my god.
Lori's kid had assigned everybody fucking names.
Oh my god.
It was Peridot.
You are a Peridot.
Yeah.
You really are. You small and you angy and you got a big old forehead.
He clocked me so fast though. I knew this kid for 10 minutes before he went, I think you're a Peridot. And I didn't know what that was at the time. And then we were watching the show and I was like, yeah,
I'm also
Lori
a Peridot.
Ray, your kid just fucking nuked me from orbit.
Yeah. And anyways, so we're in the Kate Masucci era. That means nothing except that it's, that's the era. All right, so the Scooby Gang is going to the Uncle's Inn, and they're going to Fred's Uncle's Inn, and that's the big reveal of the movie. Fred's uncle is Bobby Flay. So Fred canonically is a Flay, is part of this. Fred, that's canon. That's real. He's met Bobby Flay goes to a family get together, and Fred's there. This is canon. This is.
Fred doesn't even know that Bobby Flay's a big name.
Yeah. And I also
They're
have...
like, all the other gang is like, hey, you know Bobby Flay? Do you know who Bobby Flay is? And he's like, that's my uncle. I just introduced him. What do you mean? I just introduced him to you.
Like, oh, geez, gang.
Has no idea he's a celebrity
my
chef.
big famous uncle. I don't even know what you're talking about. And I also wrote, do kids know Bobby Flay? Like in 2018, if you were like 10 or so, would you know Bobby Flay?
I don't know, maybe. I feel like at that time, well, I mean, prior to that too, like Jamie Oliver was like doing lunches for school kids and stuff. So I feel like, and that was really, I was talking to Sarah about this last night, this like height of, and a little prior to that.
Yeah, the celebrity cooking.
Of celebrity chefs, like.
Celebrity chefs, yeah.
And Food Network.
Yeah.
This is tangential because Sarah was telling me about a friend of hers who on purpose went to the Paula Deen restaurant in Georgia or Nashville, wherever the fuck it was. Which is, and they were just like, it's insane that Paula Deen still has a restaurant. I'm like, it is the South.
Yeah.
I'm not that surprised. Also, Jimmy Carter said that she did work on being a hateful bigot. So.
Oh,
That's good at least.
If Jimmy Carter says
if she's trying.
Yeah.
I will give her, points for trying, but also, goddamn, Paula Deen.
I've only kind of vaguely known the world of celebrity chefs because my mom watched a lot of that kind of stuff. But
yes.
I was never really personally, like the most one I would know is like Gordon Ramsay is
I grew up.
I think I remember Emma Meal. What's his name?
Emerald.
My
love. Emerald is the brand of our air fryer.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I remember Emerald.
Big, huge, fantastic
air
fryer.
Yeah, that was the one I knew. I think it was on Oprah or something. And the only other guy I could name would be Guy Fieri. He's the only other chef I can think of. That's like a big... I remember reading somewhere that like being a chef is really hard to gain, notoriety and popularity as because you're, by the intrinsic nature of food, your art is not going to last. Yeah. It's going to immediately only be, experienced by one person or however many people eat it for that one moment. Yeah. And that's it. And so like versus a painter where you can go, oh, Leonardo da Vinci, he drew the Mona Lisa. You can't go, Federico Vincenzo, he made a good pizza back in Italy in 1907 or whenever. And, but... I think it's still... You're a very transient artist when you're a chef. I believe that.
Well, and unless you're on a TV show, you are in the back.
Yeah.
Like people don't even see you.
Yeah, definitely. It's not like you're gonna, it's not like you're in a band or something and everyone's like, oh my god, it's you who played the song.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh my god, it's you who made me that delicious meal. And,
so if you weren't on Top Chef or Food Network or something... The average person does not know who you are.
No, absolutely not. You'd have to only know, and you can only really experience them by going to their physical location and being by them and having them physically prepare you that in front of you. And otherwise, you wouldn't be able to know.
Whomst among us has the money for that?
Yeah. If I hear that like Gordon Ramsay's like the world's greatest chef, I can't really be like, oh yeah, I love his work because.
Well, and even then, once they get to a certain point. Mm-hmm. These people have restaurants that they are not the chefs at.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, there's Gordon Ramsay Burger in Vegas. Okay, he doesn't make the burgers there.
No, he's just his, recipe.
It's just his restaurant.
Yeah.
He is not physically the chef there.
I've probably been served more by, like, some dude who I'll never met, but they're like some guy who just likes to works making culinary food, and they're like, oh, this is nice, and I think that's completely like totally super cool to me that you can experience this art. Basically, I think food is art is what I'm getting at.
It is. No,
yeah.
Cooking is an art, baking is a science.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's science in cooking, too, which is why I like America's Test Kitchen, because I will read the science on why something works for shit. I'm not making a rack of lamb, but I absolutely want to know the science on why this method of cooking works best for it.
I think it's like Dungeon Meshi, too. So there's the anime Dungeon Meshi, or Delicious in Dungeon, that's out right now. You can watch it on Netflix. It's really good. It's about going into a dungeon, and it's very much about, the study of food and like that kind of like they make food out of the fantasy monsters like lizards or giant scorpions and stuff, and they make food out of that, and it's very into the details of how each part of the meal works, and it's super satisfying. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
And I will never be able to eat that, but it's interesting and fun, and I think food is just a very deep and important part of the human experience. It's one of the central things as to who we are. And that's all to say, Scooby-Doo is drawing upon this very primal, deeply held...
I mean, back to Shakespeare.
This
and beyond.
Theme that we're seeing at the core of this movie that the directors are very masterfully pulling out of me because I'm high as fuck.
Is this episode about food? No. Are we going to make it about food? Yes.
Yeah, anyways, we have strong food feelings. Let's get back to the...
Sorry, that was... Was that even germane to the conversation?
No, it was tangential as fuck. It was so tangential it might have been floating.
We just talked for so long that the fucking TV ended. Yeah.
All right. So, okay. So, kids, Bobby Flay, Scooby and Shaggy are horny for this food. They are so down bad for the food.
Can you make us a beef Wellington right now? Dude, that takes so long. Shut the fuck up.
I think Shaggy's kind of a douche so far in this one.
Shaggy's kind of a dick.
Shaggy's kind of a douche.
He's absolutely channeling his, like...
Inner rich boy. Because as we know, Shaggy is canonically kind of a rich boy.
Yeah.
But he usually doesn't act like it. But here, he's showing his full rich privilege.
He wants to eat the lobster. He wants to eat the beef Wellington. He wants to eat all the fancy shit.
And he goes to those other two chefs, their book signing, and he gives them Gino Laurentiis' book.
Gino Laurentiis, which I love.
Yeah.
Samuel Erickson. So fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
I watched him make like a sort of, I think it was Ethiopian-inspired fried chicken once.
Uh-huh.
And I've never stopped thinking about it.
Oh my god.
But, God, it looks so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he took somebody else's book to a celebrity stuff book signing because he knew that eventually they could get it for him.
Yeah, and he was just like...
That's a dick move. They're here to talk about their book, and you're like, I don't give a fuck about you, actually.
Yeah,
but
Shaggy's a douche.
I think Giada De Laurentiis is hot, so could you get her to sign this for me?
Yeah. Yeah, so like everyone else, I think the other characters so far are all like other celebrity chefs. What were their names, the other two? But they were also... celebrity, like real people, and then we get to this guy Skip Taylor, who is not a real like celebrity chef. He's just in universe celebrity chef, and he's voiced by Master Shake, who I love. I forget his name. I think it's Dana White. Let me check real quick. Computer, analyze.
Wait, what is that?
No, Dana White is not the great.
No, that's Master Shake.
Yeah, Master Shake. Voice actor.
Marcus Samuelson. Sorry, I don't know what I said earlier. Marcus Samuelson.
Dana Snyder is who I was thinking of. Oh, yeah.
But I was thinking the fried chicken that I was talking about. The celebrity chef where he goes to get it the signature. It's Marcus Samuelson. I'm sorry. I don't know what the fuck I said earlier.
No, that's fine, yeah.
No, I like him and his hot little wife.
So this new Skip Taylor guy is Dana Snyder, not Dana White. That's a very different person.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. Okay, yeah, no, fuck Dana White.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, Scoob and there's not an unfinished note.
He's Ethiopian and Swedish, which is cool. A fascinating combination. He's beautiful. Mm-hmm. But he makes this fucking fried chicken. I'm gonna see if I can find it.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. If you are at home listening to this, you need to see his fried chicken recipe.
I'll put a picture on screen. Well, I guess if you're listening, you still wouldn't be able to hear it, but whatever. You can, because...
Look at how gorgeous that is.
That does look gorgeous, yeah. That's beautiful. A lot of food photography is really hard, because food is actually really hard to make look appetizing.
And he makes Berber hot honey.
Yeah. Like, a lot of those commercials where you see, see all the food, like, the Carl's Jr. triple-decker burger, now with shards of glass. And it'll look, like, so good falling down. That food's mostly inedible. It's Carl's Jr., so it's already inedible. No, but
She's talking shit like we don't eat Carl's at least
I
once
love
a week.
Carl's Jr. Sorry, but yes.
If she ever doesn't want specifically a double Western bacon cheeseburger, I'm gonna check her into the fucking hospital.
I'm made of two things.
You have health insurance now. I'm gonna do it.
I'm made of Western bacon cheeseburgers and Flamin' Hot Cheetos. Those are the two things that comprise my form. Anyways, but yeah, all that food is mostly super inedible because they just do all this stuff to make it look good,
to make it shiny.
Yeah, and it's
toothpicks to hold up the lettuce.
It's super interesting to me. I think that's really.
I am obsessed.
Yeah. I had like a National Geographic Kids thing once where it would show you what they do to all this stuff, and I was like, whoa!
I love food photography.
Yeah,
and every time I have to take a picture of my food for something, I am aware of the fact that food photography is very much a skill that I have not developed.
Yeah.
And that people who do it are really fucking good
really
at it.
Especially if the food has to stay edible. Like if you're doing like a show and stuff. Like, oh, I can't wait to try this food, and you got to shoot it in a way that looks good, but he still has to eat the food. Yeah. Anyways, back to our topic. We got the creepy groundskeeper Noseworthy.
Noseworthy. How dare you erase his
I'm sorry, I dead named him.
His Latin whatever
heritage, Noseworthy. So he's like this groundskeeper dude. He's a creepy old guy. You know, he's supposed to be with a big schnoz, and he's voiced by Jim Cummings, who does Tigger in Winnie the Pooh. And,
honestly, that super checks.
And he's also Pete from the Mickey Mouse cartoons. He's like the big guy who talks like this.
That means nothing to me, actually.
Really? You don't know Pete? Oh. He's like when Mickey needs like a big tough guy to be the enemy.
I did not watch a lot of
He's the Bluto to Mickey.
Mouse.
Yeah. Oh really? I watched a little bit. Like I watched like House of Mouse and stuff, and it's
okay. I know what he looks like. I don't know his name.
Yeah, in the Goofy. Oh, in the Goofy movie, he's Goofy's boss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he warns them all about the red ghost, and he's like, "You're all doomed. The red ghost will be here, and you're all cooked." And Bobby Flay's like, "Nah, that's just an old legend. I don't believe that. I'm Bobby Flay." And I also Scooby and Shaggy ask for beans, and I've written it down. They're gonna fart so bad. They also sleep in the same bed, which I choose to believe that Scooby and Shag have a very brothers relationship. Like they feel like brothers to me. Like, despite the fact that one of them is a dog, they are brothers in bond, but not blood. And that's right. They go out for a midnight snack, and I have written, "Jesus, Shaggy, kids are starving." As he goes down for a midnight snack, they meet Nacho. Nacho is Nacho Flay, the cat, Bobby Flay's cat, who's like got this fun little cartoony design. He's a little like Scooby, but he doesn't talk. Where he's kind of like a person smart animal, but he is not he's not a talking animal. Anyways, okay, now...
And this is what I'm talking about. They made that cat horny for Giada De Laurentiis' cat.
Oh!
I don't even think that do you think that Bobby and Giada realized that they were going to insinuate that on this children's show?
Yeah, I guess so. So Gianna also has a cat, and she's like helping doing the cooking, which is super unsanitary, unbelievable. Very, very poor endorsement of this from Scooby-Doo. Very disappointing, Scooby. But yeah, and then the cat, the Nacho, the Bobby Flay cat is horny for it, and I think they're gonna have a little subplot about that. Anyways, now we get to the big show thing where they're gonna have a big they have the AI kitchen.
Yeah, I hate that thing.
Yeah, so Bobby Flay has like a big gourmet kitchen setup.
How long is this already? Just curious.
We're at like 20 minutes now.
Oh, unhinged.
And
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I'll cut out most of this.
We're gonna have to edit a lot of this.
Yeah. And so like the AI kitchen is like this big screen with a bunch of robot arms coming down and helping the people cook. It seems kind of redundant to me, and it's like an AI that talks and goes, "Hello, I think Rocky, because it's called the Rocky Hill Inn or something." So he's like, "Yeah, I made this big AI computer with ChatGPT, and I use it to help these chefs cook and stuff, and you can learn from me. It's really cool." So that's gonna be a thing, and he's gonna do a big show with it tonight, and that's where we've kind of left off. So, any further comments?
No.
All right.
I am thinking about a cat throwing a pizza wheel, though, or a pizza crust.
Yeah.
The amount of fucking fur that's stuck in that pizza crust.
After, did you wash your hands? Did you scrub in, Cat? Nah, I'm good. You just went to the litter box. It's okay, that's flavor.
Oh no.
Reese's Puffs. Eat 'em up, beat 'em up, beat 'em up, beat 'em up. I got Reese's Puffs in my bowl. Nowadays on cruise control. I got Reese's Puffs in my bowl.
Okay, we're back.
We're back.
Tell me about your notes, because
Okay, yeah, so
I don't remember.
all right, let's see. We're back, and okay, so basically, the sous chef shows up. Her name is Chef Sue.
She's Russian
and pretty like drawn to be pretty butch and
she's
manly,
large,
and
she's
kind of like, oh, I'm a big Russian woman, and talk like that stereotype. It feels like you're not supposed to like her because she's made to look like kind of manly. It's like, oh, I hate it when women are manly.
But here in this house,
yeah. Anyways, so apparently also Duflay, the old guy, the Edward Duflay was apparently a war hero in the Revolutionary War. He was a centrist because he let everyone come to his little restaurant.
See, they wouldn't let you do that.
Yeah, he said, all are welcome.
If they found out that you were like feeding the fucking crown, they would burn your shit.
Yeah,
down,
I think you know what? I'm as a proud American, I don't cotton on to those. I don't cotton on to those British sympathizers. As a proud American,
as a tax-paying citizen,
I don't cotton on to those British type. We had this whole war about fuck the crown. Now you want to go talk about Prince Harry? I don't think so. Not in my country. I'm sorry. Anyways, so this old guy comes in, and he's like a library dude who knows a lot, and he's glazing the hell out of Edward Dufresne. So the old guy comes in, tells them, oh, your grandpa guy was so great. He fed, everyone. He was a centrist and all that stuff. Anyways, and then they're like, okay, it's time for the big show now. I'm Bobby Flay. We're gonna do our big AI cooking show, and it starts like basically cooking the food for them. This really is AI generated Chat GPT food. I don't really like it. I'm not a big fan. But anyways, then suddenly the red ghost shows up, and it all goes haywire. It's like, oh shit, and then it starts, the robot arms start going crazy. The red ghost comes around, and every time he appears, he goes shh. And that's like his little thingy, his gimmick. And he's like, why is it doing that? And they're like, oh. Anyways, so then they get all, Velma goes ham, of course, as she is wont to do, grabs a fire extinguisher and just blasts it. And, that seems to get it to stop. But Bobby Flay is like, oh, we're messed up. Oh, no. And he goes, when I get stressed, I make omelets. And I'm like, you can afford eggs?
Fucking bougie.
Bougie ass.
Fucking bougie. He's gonna make omelets for like 8 people right now.
If I made omelets every time I'm stressed.
2 of them are Shaggy and Scooby.
Shaggy and Scooby is a whole other 8 people.
Yeah.
That's that. Yeah, and they're gonna eat like it right now. They're in such their entitled era. Entitlement is the term.
I'm not a fan of them this app.
Yeah, like this is one that old blue blood. Maybe this is before Shaggy has had his development, but he's getting all that rich snooty rich guy. He doesn't act all snooty, but he has the same entitlement.
Yes.
And he's yeah. Anyways, so the robot attacks them again it just throws dishes, and apparently also Giada, her bit for the movie is that she's good at everything and she's a total badass. She does
martial arts now.
Yeah. She uses a tray and
parkour,
smashes it. She parkours.
And ultimate frisbee.
Yeah, she's like super cool, and that's her bit for this movie. And Nacho wants to ride on Scooby-Doo, and Scooby's like, no, and he's like, would you do it for a nacho snack? And we got like, we got the nacho snack.
Entitled as fuck. That cat
looks smug as hell.
I want to punch that cat. That cat looks like Bobby Flay.
That cat is I don't know what the cat's bit is. I don't know. I don't really feel strongly about it. It's not really like a really strong side character, I think. It doesn't talk either, so like, or have like any personality really beyond being smug. It's really low tier side character. Okay, so then they have to go split up and search around, and Fred and Daphne and Velma go out, and they run into Sous Chef. And Sous Chef is like standing out there, and she's like, "Rawr, I'm scary."
Yeah, I don't know why she has a knife in the wilderness.
And then
like a big old kitchen knife.
Yeah, and then she goes, "Fred, you have to answer the phone a bunch," and Fred has to answer the phone a bunch because he's also he's
the
the
guy
nephew.
that's supposed to be doing the phone has disappeared. Don't know
Yeah,
where he
yeah.
is.
Skip Taylor.
And then this guy that showed up before, and the guy that
Yeah,
was
this
there
dude.
when the Skip Taylor disappeared,
Yeah.
comes in and tells Fred, "Oh, you're Fred." Fred doesn't know who this guy is.
Yeah, yeah.
But this guy tells him to, I'm expecting a delivery, so bring it to my room when it gets here. And at no point does he tell him who he is or what room he's in.
Yeah, he's an asshole.
He just expects Fred to know because he's important.
He looks like shitty Phoenix Wright.
He does look shitty thing, yeah.
So, yeah, he's like some sort of business guy, and I think he wants the land that the inn is on.
So
he's
they're
up to
setting
something.
it up right now that, who we think our villain is either maybe this guy or, Noseworthy.
Yeah. Noseworthy. Oh, yeah, so then Velma trips over a power cord, and she goes, my glasses! The iconic line. And Daphne picks them up for her, and then she goes, wait, what's this? And it's a power cord, and they follow it to Noseworthy's cottage. And also, there's a throwaway line where Daphne's like, have you considered LASIK? And she's like, I tried, I'm not a candidate. So, that's a funny little bit there.
I'm also not a candidate.
And so the creepy groundskeeper guy is like, Bobby Flay was a traitor. I mean Edward Flay was a traitor.
You were right the first time.
He was a traitor. He was a sympathizer to the crown. And I was like, like that in my country. So he's like, you gotta go to the library, and that's where you'll find the proof. So that's where we're at now. Oh yeah, Scooby and Shaggy also went into a library, and they were looking for, a secret passage. They're like, oh, we've been in enough of these spooky libraries to know that there's a passage in one of these. And so they start, like, pulling books off the shelf to try and find a lever. And they're like, okay, I guess we better follow him, because Bobby Flay doesn't know any better. He's Bobby Flay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's all my notes. So,
okay.
I was thinking, we'll probably, let's see how much more time is in the episode.
I'm really annoyed by, it doesn't tell us because our fucking thing died.
Let me see.
It still
it
says
does. It says we're at 1841, but we've been watching way longer than that.
Well, because when we paused it before, it said 1841, so it's frozen.
I'd say it's maybe...
Anyways, I gotta say, I know I don't, read anymore because my brain is fried and I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
But them throwing all these books around hurts my delicate, nerdy fifis.
It's okay. It's like the same book, and they just recolored it.
They're different.
All right. Back to the show.
Reese's Puffs, peanut butter chocolate flavor. Reese's Puffs, in the AM, it's the flavor I say.
All right, so we're back, and we're better than ever.
Are we?
All right, so we're taking a break. I forgot to take out my gum. Okay.
Tell me your notes.
So, all right. So they go and let's see, where were we?
One, I predicted something, but that's just...
Yeah, okay.
One,
so
because I'm smart, and
they
two,
go to the
I
library,
have
there's no secret passage, but then they find...
of Scooby-Doo watching.
Yeah. They go to the library, and they find a trapdoor, and the ghost is in there, and it chases them around. It chases around Shaggy, Bobby Flay, Scooby, the cat, and Giada. And meanwhile, Daphne...
and her little jar of fennel.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Velma and Daphne are actually getting shit done. They're at the library working out.
Stuff done.
And they find, this old display of Edward Dufresne stuff, and there's a bottle of lemon juice. And they're like, oh, that's weird. Why would that be there? And Courtney goes, I bet they used it to write secret messages.
I'm gonna tell you what, I was not even paying attention. I didn't even see the fucking lemon juice.
Yeah, so...
I just started thinking about parchment paper and the fact that would be a thing to do.
So his empty I forget if we talked about it, but there's a bunch of parchment paper that he used, and it's labeled EFD, which is not... They say
they do the little ones and then the last part. Yeah,
I guess I wasn't privy to that. I thought it was spelled wrong.
No.
But yeah. So then they find Skip Taylor, the dude who's supposed to be answering the phone. He was just taking a nap, I guess.
Honestly,
and it turns out he has a CPAP machine because he has sleep apnea, and it makes him. They're like, oh, what's that noise? It sounds like the ghost guy, but it's just a CPAP machine. That might be important. And the red ghost, meanwhile, tries to steal the parchment paper, but he's a clumsy ass ghost.
Motherfucker!
He trips over his own feet like twice.
Yeah.
He
Worse
goes
than
in.
me when I'm high.
He steals the parchment papers and he gets out. Only Scooby sees him, but he's too scared to say anything. He goes out and he trips over his own feet. And then he goes out and goes back up the stairs and he trips on his own feet again and he drops the papers he was trying to steal. Yeah. And he's like, well, shit, I gotta get out of here. So he fucked himself on that one.
And then that guy that I don't like, the guest.
Yeah, the shitty Phoenix Wright comes in and he's like, oh, where's my package? I need it. And then they're like, we'll get our fucking package when we're ready or whatever. It's like, oh, just see to it I get my package, boy. And then meanwhile, they also found out that by looking at the lemon juice messages, they find out that Edmund Duflay was a traitor because he was giving away American
colonial
troop movements
to the fucking British.
To the British on his little thing. So he was a traitor.
Like, Benedict Arnold ass bitch.
Like no say worthy said. And so then they chase the ghost. It's breaking into the inn, and they're like, it's gonna get in. But then they open the door, and it's just a delivery drone. And it delivers the papers to Shitty Phoenix Wright. And he's like, my papers, excellent. This is actually an order for you to get out because we're declaring this a national landmark or whatever. You're losing the place.
Basically, if he keeps it, he has to spend millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Like taking care of it and keeping it restored to its like original state as a historic landmark.
Yeah.
Historic landmark. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah. It's so he's like saying, oh, but I'll take it off your hands, you know. That's my little sneaky.
You don't even care about the patriotism.
Yeah. And then he goes.
Fred's like, yeah, he was not a patriot. And
he was
like,
a traitor.
Please don't tell anybody that.
It's like, oh shit. Oh
he just wants this thing to make money because he's a venture capitalist.
Yeah. So now but then the ghost shows back up again one more time. The red ghost. I think this is going to be our final chase. He goes into the big hedge maze, and they're all like, we gotta get his ass.
I love a hedge maze.
Fred goes, get his ass!
I did one in London?
Yeah, and they all run into the hedge maze, except Velma, who's like,
because Velma's the smartest motherfucker here.
And she goes looking around for something else in another direction. So she's gonna go off and solve the damn case while the rest of them go chase the red ghost. Yeah. And now we got we've got a big kind of dramatic shot where they're running all towards into the fray. They even do a 360 turn around Scooby and Shaggy as they go inside, and now that's where we're getting
I love that cat is riding Scooby-Doo like he's a goddamn backpack.
I mean, to be fair, Scooby-Doo's a Great Dane. He is big.
You could ride that dog into battle.
You could 100%. Ride that dog into battle. But
he just looks like a fucking Wookiee backpack now.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So we're gonna get back into the groove, and this should be our final section. So we're gonna finish it and come back after that. Are you ready, Courtney?
Yes.
All right, let's do this shit.
What if I killed myself?
Peanut butter and chocolate too. You know how I do, that's what I wake up to. My Reese's Puffs inspired this rhyme. That peanut butter chocolate combination's on time.
I ate one of those Hot Ones chips while we were watching, and it kicked my ass.
I don't think they're that hot.
I didn't eat one. I ate a few.
Oh yeah, that might do it.
And I was like, because I'm just high enough that I was like, you know, I need Munch, but I'm too high and the spice build up on my tongue, and then I go, oh shit. All right. So we're back for the final time. All right. So basically, let's see where we were. They went into the hedge maze, and so they chase it down, and they're like, oh no. You know, they're attacking, and then Velma ran to Noseworthy, he's going by Noseworthy now.
Instead of Noseworthy.
They've flipped the bit to get even more mileage out of it. So now he's Noseworthy, and they're like, you need to shut the power down. So she's having him shut down the power, and then it turns off the Wi-Fi, and that disables the drone because it was a drone, and that's what was making that
whole
sound. And he's like, that was it. It was a drone this whole time. And Bobby Flay also uses his tongs to save Scooby and Shaggy from falling. But frankly, I don't think it would have been much different if he'd used his hands. They're like, your tongs saved the day.
I don't think tongs actually, unless that man has a fucking gorilla grip. Which, Bobby Flay, do you have gorilla grip? I don't think he could have clamped those things tight enough to pull multiple fucking things back off a cliff. No, you gotta be fucked up.
But then then Scooby smells licorice. they throw fennel on the ghost and it doesn't work, which I think only exists to say it's not a ghost, I guess, but it's never a ghost, so I don't know why. Anyways, so and the cat attacks it. The other cat that
Bella's back.
Yeah, she comes back out of nowhere.
These cats are serving cunt.
Yeah.
Most cats are, but
and
these ones in particular.
Yeah, I don't think the cats added much to the movie, frankly. I think it would have been fine if they weren't there. I don't know why. What the point was. Unless those are their actual cats. So are they the actual cats?
I don't know. Sorry, I'm reading something.
To be fair, if I was going to be in a Scooby-Doo, I would want the bean in it. The bean would be in it and she'd be a nightmare. There'd be an entire side plot of the bean just beating the shit out of Scooby and Shaggy. Cat. And they'd be like, oh, geez, Scoop, we gotta get out of here. Raggy, help me.
She does, in fact, have 4 pets. Bella, Bruno, Luna, and Ollie.
Oh, so that is the real cat. Okay. I guess they were like, put my cat in the movie. Put my cat in your fucking movie, Scooby.
And our cats that are us are gonna want to fuck each other.
Yeah.
He really does have... Is that a Maine Coon? That's a big-ass cat.
That's the cat, yeah.
That's a big-ass
That is his cat, Nacho.
Cat.
Yeah, that's Nacho.
With 1 brain cell.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay, so that's totally valid. Alright, so anyways, now that they know the ghost was a drone, that Fred's like, aha, well then what about that clumsy-ass ghost who fucking sucked? And they're like, that was a real guy. We're gonna get him. So they start making up a plan. They start going like, we're gonna have a big new event for Bobby Flay with Elton John. And it's like, we don't know Elton John.
This, but
yeah. And they get Skip Taylor, the Dana Snyder guy, to be Elton John. That sure is a character. I don't know why.
I don't like him.
I don't know what they were. He's just all over the place in this movie. Presumably because they were just like, oh, they need a funny guy. Anyways.
Was he funny?
I don't know. They go in there. The cats are cooking, which is highly unsanitary.
Oh my god, using their little dirty ass nails.
No, don't like it. I don't care if it's Bobby Flay's cat.
Listen, I'm pretty apologetic about I always clean the kitchen before I cook for other people, but I guarantee you Mel and I have eaten more cat hair than is healthy, I'm sure.
Probably.
If I really wanted to have a hairball,
I could cough up a hairball myself.
Yeah.
Could make the bean with
gross.
A second bean.
They use litter boxes and stuff.
I don't care.
That's gross.
I don't care if it's Gordon Ramsay's personal pet Tarrasque. I wouldn't let it cook or I wouldn't eat its cooking.
No.
That's unsanitary.
Horrific.
And so they start doing a montage and they get the drip. They're all dripped out. Daphne, Velma, Scooby, and Shag are all wearing tuxedos now.
Nice,
they clean up nice. It looks cool. And then Elton John is there. He's doing a bad Elton John impression as a bit. And so then they're like, all right, gang. All right, everyone. We need to tell you the truth that Flay was a traitor. And then the Red Ghost...
before they can say that...
Yeah, the Red Ghost is like, no, he wasn't. And he comes out and he's like trying to steal his shit back. And then Fred's like, all right, gang, now! And they activate that AI cooking gizmo with all the robot arms.
I don't feel like we explained to you earlier exactly how AI this kitchen is.
Yeah.
There's a character named Rocky.
Yeah.
And she's kind of like, if you ever saw the movie Smart House.
Yeah. She's like running it all.
But she's like a giant fucking spider with a TV screen.
Like GLaDOS.
It's very Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
And she controls the kitchen, and so they were controlling her robot arms to try and catch this fucking ghost.
And so the robot arms are just beating his ass. They're shooting food, throwing food at him. People are starving, but we're, wasting all these...
Such a waste of food.
Likely very expensive ingredients. Like, not only is this food...
It's heirloom tomatoes
good
and shit.
Food. Yeah. It's probably, much more than you get at our grocery store that we work at that shall not be named. And, but they're nice things, because Bobby Flay isn't cooking with tomatoes off the rack. He's going straight to the fires of Mount Olympus to grab those tomatoes from Zeus himself. So all that food going down the drain because they had to get this guy. I don't know. I feel like a few cops showing up could have stopped him. I
can't believe you right now.
I'm sorry, but that feels like it's less...
Melody,
what was it gonna do?
Cab.
I know, but what was it gonna do? Okay, let's say Shaggy with a gun could have stopped the situation. Fred with a gun could have stopped the situation. Okay. If Fred just pulled out a gun and said, stop right there, then what was the ghost gonna do? Shit, oh fuck. Oh, well, no, don't shoot me.
Yeah.
Anyways, so they get his ass, the real ghost, it was Shitty Phoenix Wright, who, by the way, his name
was that the real ghost?
No, but I'll get to that.
Okay.
So the Shitty Phoenix Wright guy, who apparently his name is Blast. Like Fred always says Blast, but the subtitles say Bass.
It's Blast though.
Or Bass, or I get something like that. Anyways, they he's not Bradley Bass, as Velma reveals. She pulls off his face again. We got a double reveal. He is actually the historian guy. That was.
And I just want to talk about the fact that apparently the historian guy has Oscar-winning level prosthetic abilities.
He just
because nobody clocked him as being wearing prosthetics to be another human in a wig.
I guess.
Unclockable fucking wig. He got that lace front shit going.
Yeah.
That's not from Amazon.
I take
That's
it
a several
back.
$100 wig.
Yeah, no, I take it back. He was going on TikTok doing all those tutorials. He was was TikTok a thing in 2018?
No.
Okay. But yeah. So he was the historian the whole time, and he found out at some point that Chef Edwards was a traitor. He was selling the secrets, and he was like, oh no, I gotta hide this. My life's work has been on this dude. So he made up the red ghost, and then he tried to steal it for that reason. And then, Velma reveals, but wait, there's more. I looked closer at the papers and compared them to our historical documents, and the information that he was giving to the British was false. He was a counter spy. And they were like, oh! So Chef Flay was not a traitor, but a patriot. And the guy literally goes like, what? I did all this for nothing! I can't believe I spent years planning for this!
Yeah.
Imagine planning a whole, setting up a whole scheme for this.
Imagine being a historian, not knowing 18th century spy techniques.
He didn't look. He could have looked it up himself, and he didn't. And it's like, I can't believe this.
I knew it. I'm not a historian.
Oh, I'm cooked. And, And so they reveal at the very end also that the ghost, that in the past, it wasn't him saying red ghost. It was him saying red coats. So they just misheard that and became a whole ghost legend. So that was the big reveal, and they're like, oh, whoa, ho, 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 ho. Looks like we saved the day. Good job, everyone. And they all go home. So that was the Gourmet Ghost. So what are your general feelings?
I liked it. There were some parts that were fucking... like spooky. Like if I was a little kid, I probably would have gotten freaked out.
There's some. I think the red ghost itself does look pretty creepy.
Yeah.
And I think it looks. I wasn't as big on it as the last one, movie wise. Maybe it's just because it didn't have John Cena. But then that's maybe an unfair comparison.
Valid.
Yeah, I don't think it's always gonna have the leg up of having John Cena in it over the other Scoobs. But I thought it was fine. I feel like it had the shtick of the cats really kind of didn't add anything. It feels like I want to say it could have used a little more salt. It was kind of bland to use some cooking terms. I think it was a little undercooked. I don't like the AI advocacy, obviously. They use AI to save the day.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, that's terrible. But I do appreciate
How
them
much
being
water out of
willing
that
to...
coast did they have to use?
I do appreciate their willingness to question the narrative that we've been told. Like, oh, our guy was a war hero. Oh, no, he might not have been. Well... And then Scooby-Doo says, well, we better honestly look at our history and make an accurate assessment based on the facts as best we know them. And that's pretty based.
Yeah.
Based Comrade Scooby. We don't need heroes. We need solidarity as workers. That's my communism for the day. But, yeah. And I think it was good. Yeah.
I liked it.
I don't know enough about I feel like if I'd known Bobby Flay, I would have gotten some more out of it. I think they beat...
Would you?
I don't know. Maybe? It does seem like an odd choice to me, I guess.
I wish that I was Giada De Laurentiis, just because she apparently does everything, and she has enough spare time to be a master of 800 other things.
That's kind of her bit in the movie, and I think they've done it with Daphne before also, where she's just like kind of good at everything in some of the series, I think. Because they were like, I think Daphne kind of didn't have a bit this one. Like, Scooby, Fred, obviously, they don't really do a lot that Fred... is the nephew of Bobby Flay. Like, I they do a couple bits with it, but there's not really anything major. It's not really anything more than like a standard gimmick for the episode. Scoob and Shag were kind of dicks this whole time.
They really were.
It feels like them getting, this has brought out the worst in them. Being so close to something so tantalizing and so powerful for them has just drawn out their inner id, unrestrained by the superego as it normally would. And this makes it so much more like, I guess this is the shadow Shag and Scoob. This is them, the shadow that lurks in their psyche that they try to deny, and they don't. There's like that line he says is like, "Oh, pretending to be cowards and running off here got us the easiest job." And we were like, I don't think you're pretending, Scoob. I don't think you're pretending, Shag. You're not pretending to be a coward if you just do the same thing as a coward. At some point, that's a distinction without a difference. And it's revealing because Shaggy doesn't see himself as a coward. He likely sees himself as a brave, cool guy who does a lot of neat stuff.
He's not though. He's a bitch.
Yeah, he thinks of himself in this way. There's that disconnect between his perception and reality, and that allows him to, continue with it. He doesn't reflect on himself, and thus he becomes the entitled rich boy that's inside him that he might have raised. Yeah, but yeah, but I do think it's strong characterization. I think it's a subtle element that they're showing Shag's rich, entitled upbringing that he may not have like been as free from its influence as you might think. Like, even though he doesn't seem like a rich kid, there's some of that entitlement from his parents that might have seeped into him without him realizing.
Yes.
And he's got some internal struggles to handle and work out there. And I think that sets this up really, really subtly in this movie. He never even gets called out on it, so it's not like, they only say like, "Oh, Shaggy, you," but they don't address the root core problem, and he's gonna have to work that out a lot in therapy. So, I think that's a very interesting direction for them to take the character, and I think I'm excited to see where they go with that. Let's see, what else did we have to say? I liked the production value. It felt like it wasn't like super like nice looking, but it did look better than your average episode, I'd say. It had some nice shots, I think, where they've got to move the camera a bit, and they made some nice looking shots. So in conclusion, I think this was okay. I liked it well enough, but not like nothing impressive, I say. Unlike I think it's about on par with like your standard episode, I'd say. It doesn't really excite me any more than like to make it a movie. But I did like a little bit of the twist. Like, I liked the playing with the plot, like the playing with the reveal at the end. I think the double face reveal is fun, but I don't think it adds much. It's not like we already kind of suspected the shitty Phoenix Wright guy, but he kind of looks like, actually, now that I think about it, he looks like Mr. Boss fused with Phoenix Wright from Smiling Friends. I'll put them on screen, do a little dance. All right, behold. All right, I've done that in editing.
Okay. I don't know what that guy looks like, but sure.
Yeah. But anyways, I think it was, I'd place it about, this is like our 5th one, right?
Horrific, yes.
Maybe about 3rd or 4th, maybe. No, maybe 4th. We got first episode ever, The Night for the Night. Second one was the snowboarding one. Third one was the Mystery Inc. one. And with the goo monster and the teacher who was like, I need the money. And 4th, WrestleMania. And 5th is this one.
Okay. I don't listen.
Yeah.
Brain like a sieve. I don't remember enough about any of those to rank them.
Well, do you have any final thoughts?
I don't know that I have any thoughts at all.
That's okay. That's okay. Your precious head is too full
of
beautiful things and beautiful talents that you need to share with this world. All right. I think what we're going to do is we're going to do maybe a little poll or whatever. I don't know. It's not like there's like 10 people listening to this. So you can just like put a vote in the comments or wherever.
10 feels generous.
What do you mean?
Listening to this.
Oh, yeah. So to the 4 or 5 people listening to this, I want I'm going to pull up some ideas for the next one. For the next Scooby-Doo that I'm thinking of, maybe going, and you can give in your your input on that. So there's like 3 little movies that I was thinking of doing. There's Scooby-Doo, Legend of the Phantasaur, Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf, and what was the third one? I think it was Cyber Chase. Yeah. So, do any of those sound interesting? So,
what are our options?
Scooby-Doo and the Legend of the Phantasaur, Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf, and Scooby-Doo and Cyber Chase.
The first one.
The Phantasaur? Alright, so that's Courtney's bias. I'm gonna say Cyber Chase is my bias. And we'll say you can turn in your votes and see which one you'd want us to watch while totally blitzed. And we'll put that one on the next for the docket next time.
Yeah.
So until next time.
Or if you have any other
suggestions, if you have any other general Scooby suggestions, we have a couple. I do want to do one in specific, but I'm gonna wait on it. And I do want to do the live action movies at some point too. I think that'll be fun. Yeah, anything Scooby related generally, as we're gonna lean more towards the movies and the stuff that can be done in one-offs rather than, like multiple episode stuff. Although we might go back to some of them and watch. I'm thinking we might do multiple episodes, or at least like we'll do an episode, stop, record, do an episode, stop, record, maybe. But so we can do like a little batch of them instead of one by one. But,
okay.
Yeah. All right, folks, that's our show for today. Put in your latest recipes down in the comments below so that we can make them. And this episode was not sponsored by HelloFresh, but it should be. If you know how to get a HelloFresh sponsorship, hit us up. And now I'm gonna go lie down. All right, good night, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks to Harmless for doing this awesome intro outro song for us. It's awesome. We love it.
Scooby-Doo, is that Elon Musk? Whoa, Elon Musk is the coolest guy ever. Well, that's very nice of you to say, Scooby. I sure would love to solve a mystery with you. Someone is making my Teslas explode. Can you figure out what the Tesla bomb ghost is doing? You gotta catch it for me. All right, I'll use my new Tesla that I just bought to go. I traded in the mystery machine for a Cybertruck. I'm sorry.
You're good.
No, I made myself lose it with that bit.
Oh my god.